Welcome back, everybody. Matt and back here. Hope you're doing well. Once again, before we get started today, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the page near the title, and let's get started. So, Outer Banks Season 3 has finally arrived. The last season, Season 2, came out in July 2021. So it's been over a year and a half since the last season. I don't know why it took so long. We were out of the pandemic. It even took a couple of months for them to even renew the season. So, I remember not hearing until like mid-fall. Oh yeah, we're finally renewing Outer Banks for Season 3. Why did it take so long? I don't know. But luckily, at least for Season 4, they already announced it a week before this new season. So maybe that will come out by next year. Maybe by spring or summer of next year. So it won't be as long of a wait. But anyway, let's get into it. Let me give you a little bit of my history with this show. Obviously, this show premiered on Netflix back in 2020 during the pandemic. It came out it came out in April of 2020. I don't know if we were already a month into the pandemic or maybe only a couple weeks in. But I remember it came on. I started watching it with my stepdad. And then we only got through the first 2 episodes, and then I don't know why I didn't watch it after that. And then it wasn't until summertime, around summertime, I put it back on, started from the beginning, and I binged the entire first season in that weekend. And I fell in love with the show right away. Couldn't wait for Season 2. Season 2 came out in July of 2021. I think it was the 3rd or 4th week of July, the very end of July. And of course, I thought the second season was really good also. I binged that in one weekend also. And here we are now, a year and a half later, Outer Banks Season 3. Interesting, I'll say even already some of these actors in this show have been in other profile films, like Rudy Panko was in the opening of Uncharted. I think he was playing Tom Holland's brother. We saw him already in something. Madeline Klein, who plays Sarah Cameron. We just saw her in the Knives Out sequel, Glass Onion, last November. So, like I said, these actors are starting to, get out there and get bigger projects. I would love to see Rudy Panko playing Human Torch in the Fantastic Four movie. But that's for another day. But anyway, let's get into Outer Banks Season 3. Now, I will admit, I thought this season was a step down from the first 2. I think this season so far is the weakest season of the series so far. I don't know why that is when you had a year and a half to development. Only 10 episodes. I think the story wasn't as focused as it needed to be. I think we had a lot of moments in this season that just kind of dragged on or didn't really go anywhere. Like Elizabeth Mitchell, who we saw in the last season, showed up again here in the first couple episodes, and then we didn't see her the rest of the season. There was a lot of obviously love triangle stuff going on. Will they, won't they? Will they get together? Will they not get together? Some of the characters cheating on another character. And the whole love triangle was about to start going with that. And I thought the overall, too, with the actual finding of the treasure was kind of... I think only the John B. and his father were really the only ones going after something, I felt like, most of the season. The other characters were just hanging around a lot of the time. And I don't know if that was because of the whole behind the scenes stuff. And a lot of people don't know, Chase Stokes, who plays John Mee, and Madeline Klein, who plays Sarah, they were actually together in real life, all from the show, which happens a lot of time with actors, especially ones that are actually supposed to be in a relationship on screen. They eventually, because they have to get close and get to really know each other to make the scenes work, they eventually hook up in real life because they have that chemistry. And then, of course, like so many other times, they will eventually break up. There's very rare, very, very rare relationships out there that have stayed together forever. Jennifer Connelly and Paul Bettany. There's one example. But it's very rare. I mean, when Dawson's Creek had that, the OC had that, they get together and then they break up and then things are a little odd. And sometimes you can tell that in a show. Because most of this season, John Mee was not with his group of friends. You don't think that was a coincidence? And then when they were together, you can tell there was some awkwardness. And I'm going to get into Chase Stokes' acting later on. But let's, in the positives though. Number one, I thought the pacing overall, I did think the first episode was a little slow. But once the second episode got going, I thought the 10 episodes flew by. Like I said, I started this on a Thursday night, watched a few episodes on Friday night, watched another couple on Saturday night, and watched the last episode and a half Sunday afternoon. So, like I said, it flew by for me. The relationship between JJ and Kiara, I thought was the best stuff in this season. Their romance, or their blossoming romance, and their chemistry together was really fun, charming, cute, heartfelt, emotional at times. And I think Rudy Panko and Madison Bailey, I thought really brought that. They had a great chemistry together. I also thought Madison Bailey really stepped up this season as Kiara. She had a little bit more to do, a little bit more of a focus on her. And I thought the actress really stepped up. Same thing as Rudy. I think Rudy had a lot more to do in this season. And I'm glad they honed in on that. He showed a lot of range. I like we got to see a little bit more romantic side to him. We got to see more of his more hotshot, daredevil attitude, if you will. And I thought he did a great job. That's why I think he would be a great Human Torch. Also, Pope and Cleo. We met Cleo in the last season, and now this season she was a prominent figure. Also, her and Pope's friendship / blossoming romance, I thought really worked. She was like his advisory person, his not really point of view, his conscience, if you will. Almost like a Jiminy Cricket. Like keeping them on the straight and narrow, but also their relationship I thought was great. And I liked how this season teased season 4. I won't go into it on this podcast, but the potential for season 4 now, I'm like, oh, this is right up my alley. And not only that, this is why this 4th season needs to come out in like the summertime. I'm just going to say that. And like I said, I like this type of show. I grew up, every summer I would go to the beach around Seaside, Seagrove, and spend a week down there every summer. So I'm used to living in but living in a beach town. So shows like Outer Banks, shows like Dawson's Creek, shows like the OC are some of my favorite shows, and I know that kind of lifestyle, living by the water, enjoying that small town, beachside, town, city side area, sort of speak, if you will, and I gravitate to these types of shows. I wish I lived in a beach town for real, because I'd be watching the OC, Dawson's Creek, and Outer Banks all summer long. Getting into the negatives for Outer Banks Season 3, the actor that plays John Mee is kind of like the main character of the show. Chase Stokes, the actor, I don't know if it was because of his breakup with Madeline Klein, but in this season, he seemed very out of it. He seemed bored out of his mind in scenes. He just seemed like he wasn't in the same show as everyone else. I don't know if it was just the character written for this season, but compared to the first two seasons, there was something missing in this season. And like I don't know if it's because of the breakup with Madeline Klein that kind of threw everything off. And like that's why most of this season, he's not with her. He's not with the group. And it really was like odd. It was weird. I would have rather if they hooked him up with another girl, like he ended up breaking up with Sarah in the show early on, and then, hooked up with somebody else. Maybe that would have changed his acting. I don't know. But I just felt like there was definitely something about his performance this season that was completely off from the other two seasons. Also, most of this season, him and we see John Mee's father in this season. It's in the marketing. I don't know how much was in the marketing, but John Mee's father is in this season. And I didn't like the character. This is someone that John Mee has been wanting to find his father. We all thought he was dead. But only at the end of the last season, we find out he's still alive. He really is alive. And this character, there was nothing about this character that I would say, why in the world would John Mee ever want his father to return? He's always seems angry. He's never nurturing or loving. He's just, we gotta find the treasure. No matter what. I don't care about anything else. Treasure. And it's like, and he's also like yelling at his son when his son doesn't do what he wants in terms of finding the treasure. Or, they're going up the hill and he's like, come on son, get a move on it. We don't got time for this shit. And it's like, dude, you haven't been around for like a year or two. Why don't you spend some quality time with your son? I don't know, I didn't like the character. So, that was another weird thing in the season where, the group are doing their own thing waiting around for John Mee most of the time, while John Mee's with his father, and the whole dynamic between them is really off. And then of course Chase Stokes, who plays John Mee, doesn't seem as in it this season as in the previous seasons. So it was just kind of like a weird divide in this season. Minor spoiler, in the final episode we jump, near the very end of the final episode, we jump 18 months, and then we have kind of like an epilogue teasing the fourth season and why not, whatever. But before the group leaves to go to El Dorado to find this treasure, there's a lot of loose ends. One between Kiara and her parents. One between JJ and somebody he owes money to. One between John Mee and Topper. And then one between Sarah and her brother Rafe. And none of those get resolved. We never see the outcome of any of those things. They just jump 18 months later and everything is fine and dandy. And I'm like, did you shoot it and then realize it would be another 20 minutes? And this episode, being the final episode, was already over an hour and 15, and you just didn't want to, you know, add more runtime? Because you literally left so many things hanging for almost every character. And you don't resolve any of it. None of it. So, I was really perplexed on that one. Like, I thought, you know, when they did what they did, and they went back to, you know, their hometown, that there was going to be a lot of consequences, a lot of figuring, talking to people, resolving things, and there was none of that. So I thought that was very odd to go ahead and set all that up, but then have no payoff. Other than that, you know, like I said, I think this is the kind of the weakest season of the 3 seasons so far. I think the story, like I said, I think that needed to be stronger. I think after the breakup between Madeline Klein and Chase Stokes, I think they should have done something with the characters after that. Have new relationships or something. And yeah, they tried to get Chase Stokes, actor John Mee, away for most of the season to meet with his father, but then it was like this weird divide. Because the other characters really didn't have anything else to do except wait around for John Mee. So it was very like, what's going on here? So, anyway, I would give this at least a 4 out of 5. I still enjoyed it. I still really like these characters and like the world. I can't wait for season 4. Hopefully it will be here sooner rather than later. And yeah, let me know in the comments below. Did you watch Outer Banks season 3? What did you think? Are you a fan of the show? What do you hope for season 4? Matt the Mad here.